You need to watch your kids. You need to listen to your kids. You need to pay attention to your kids. Trigger warning, I'm going to be talking about sexual assault, not in detail, just context. I want to talk about an insurance policy that most people have never heard of. It's called SAM, Sexual Abuse and Molestation Coverage. And it exists because somewhere in the United States, a man in a church, or a woman, a scout troop, or a gymnastics gym sexually abused a child. And the organization they work for decided the best response was not to fire them, was not to call the police, not warn the next family, but to calculate what it would cost them when they got caught. Then they bought the policy to cover the cost. SAM is a special liability policy. Organizations buy it when they know in advance that the people who work for them might sexually abuse someone in their care. Schools carry it, churches carry it, youth sports carry it, foster care agencies carry it, nonprofits carry it. In California alone, where a 2019 law extended the statute of limitations for childhood sexual abuse, SAM insurance premiums climbed from $114 million in 2019 to $490 million in 2025. At least 33 states have passed similar laws since 2017. The market is moving in the same direction everywhere. Not because insurance got greedy, but because cases started coming in faster than the industry could price them. Boy Scouts of America, they filed for bankruptcy in 2020. 82,000 survivor claims filed. The organization had been keeping internal records of suspected abusers since 1919. They called them the perversion files. The total compensation cost has now passed $7 billion. The Catholic Church over the last 20 years. American dioceses have paid more than $5 billion. At least 19 dioceses filed for bankruptcies, all to shield their assets from the survivors. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles paid $880 million. Rockville Center, $323 million. New Orleans, $230 million. Rochester, $246 million. Buffalo, $150 million. USA Gymnastics. Larry Nassar? He sexually abused more than 500 athletes. USA Gymnastics had complaints about him as early as 1997. They kept him on staff until 2015. The organization, the Olympic Committee, and their insurers paid $380 million. Michigan State paid $500 million separately. Every single one of these institutions knew. Every single one of them kept internal records for years. And every single one of them had a SAM policy. Now, here's where you have to sit with something, okay? There are organizations in this country that genuinely want to protect children, and they carry SAM insurance responsibly, right? The background checks, the 2 adult rules, the mandatory reporting training. The insurance industry now requires all of it before they'll even write you a policy. That is a good thing. But that's not what the Boy Scouts were doing for 100 years. That's not what the Catholic Church has been doing for decades. That's not what USA Gymnastics was doing while Larry Nassar was assaulting children. Those institutions were not carrying the insurance to protect children. They were carrying insurance to protect themselves from the consequences of not protecting children. When the $2.46 billion Boy Scout settlement finally came out, most of that money came from insurers, not from the organizations, not from the leaders who covered it up, not from the men who did it. From the insurance pool, which means insurance premiums went up on every Girl Scout troop, every small town youth league, every after school program that never harmed a child in its life. The abusers paid nothing. The survivors got pennies on the dollar. The institutions kept operating, and the cost of what they did got redistributed to everyone else. SAM insurance is not a product, it's a receipt, right? It exists because these institutions exist. Because somewhere in every single one of them, a person in leadership knew and made a calculation that protecting the organization mattered more than protecting the children. The insurance industry figured out what that calculation cost. $5 billion, $7 billion, $9 billion and counting. The money moves, the institutions survive. The survivors wait decades for a fraction. And the next kid who walks into one of those buildings is protected by exactly nothing. Nothing that came before them. That is the market working exactly as intended. Watch your children, please.